That's okay. I understand that. It's my job to earn your trust. And that's part of why we're here today. Thank you, ma'am. So I don't know if our PowerPoint's working, and that's okay, because maybe this isn't a PowerPoint kind of meeting. But what I was planning to do today is to talk to you all about two different tracks that we're on, working in parallel. So first, we have to make things better right now, because whatever's going to happen at Dosker Manor is going to take time. And we don't have time for you all to continue to live in conditions that are unacceptable. So we have to do things right this minute to make things better right now. So I'm going to talk to you about the things we're working on, the things we're planning. At the same time, we have to plan for the future. We can't wait to make everything better until we set things on a different course. And we can't ignore the needs that you have right now while we're planning for the future. We have to do all of that at the same time. What did I say when I first came here? We got to walk and chew gum at the same time. And that's what we're doing here today. Okay. So you've heard the mayor say it. You've heard me say it before. LMHA, we recognize that what has happened at Dosker Manor is unacceptable. We know that we have to do better in terms of the physical conditions and the services. So let me tell you about 4 things. And we have packets at the front. So for people who like PowerPoints, you can get a packet, follow along. If not, don't worry about it. But we are focused on 4 major things. One is making repairs right now. We can't stop making repairs. When you all call them in, tell us that you have things going on. We have to respond to that. Yeah, please silence your phones. Thank you. We have to work to continue to bolster resident safety and security. We have to enhance resident services, and we have to improve communications. So when I came here for the first time we had office hours here, I sat, and many of you had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to meet with many of you one-on-one. I heard the same kind of themes over and over again. You didn't feel like you're being heard. You got problems in your apartment, in the stairwells, in the building, on the grounds. The laundry facilities really need some upgrades. I kept hearing, you're not feeling safe and secure on the site. So it's become very clear, while I might have many different voices talking, I'm starting to hear the same things. And that makes it easier to figure out how to make things better. So we are working on inspections and repairs. Okay, thanks. Was that a clap? I appreciate that. That said, we still have a lot of work to do. We have a huge backlog of work orders. We have a lot of repairs that we have to get to. And that's because it's not just what's going on inside the apartments. There are issues with the buildings and the systems themselves. And that's what this is all about. It's not as simple as fixing one person's bathroom or fixing the lights in a hallway. There are underlying issues and systems in the buildings that are long past their useful life. And that's why this is such a big process to kick off, because there's a lot going on. And I want to talk about, specifically, I want to address the issue of pests. That was definitely one thing that I've heard. So I want the residents to know that we've started cleaning and treating for pests a little differently in the past few months. Has anyone noticed an improvement in the number of pests in their apartment? It's still the same. Okay, that is good feedback to know. Hold on, we're going to need to get to questions and answers in a little bit. I also want to focus on safety and security. Do people feel a better presence of safety and security on site? Does it feel of us? Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Noted. So we have made some upgrades, and I understand that it's going to take some time for those to feel like they're making a difference. Did you all see the newsletter? Okay, great. That's good. We're also focusing on resident communications for sure. And how many of you guys have been to office hours so far? We got a handful. I'm here the second Friday of every month when the Dare to Care comes. I'm here with senior staff, and we're just here to listen and to engage. How many of you all are aware of the Core Center in the C building and the work that Miss Lynetta does? Okay, so we can give Miss Lynetta that feedback that's probably... Ms. Lynetta is on site to help provide some social work services, some case management, and we have good news to come. So let me now shift to what we're focusing on in the future. So I want to talk about the laundry facilities. How many people here are fed up with the laundry facilities at Dosker Manor? Okay, I think that's unanimous amongst the residents. So in 2024, and I'm looking at my team to fact check me in real time, we're going to have new machines coming in to Dosker Manor. And it also, we have to secure the space. You have to feel safe getting to the laundry room. We have to make sure that it's not going to be subject to vandalism or anything like that. So it's both the actual machines and the facilities that you're using. And we are working on that, because if you don't have that, you don't have clean clothes. What are you going to do? So, okay. So we've been promising a lot of things here. We've been saying it's going to get better. We have to work on these two tracks at the same time. How are we going to do that? One of the biggest things we have to focus on, one of our biggest challenges as an organization, is staffing. We have a lot of vacancies on the maintenance team. You guys, I'm sure, see it and feel it. We've got 10 people doing the work of at least 16, maybe even 20 people. So when you see the maintenance team, know that they are extremely short-staffed. They're all doing the work of more than one person. So what are we doing about that? We are working hard to fill those vacancies. Right now, we've hired temporary employees to focus on janitorial kind of things to make things a little bit cleaner. But we want to get permanent people in these positions who are skilled in trades to come in and handle the work orders much, much faster. We've also kind of changed the structure of how our maintenance and property management team functions. What's happened over the years is we just kept kind of not filling positions or combining positions, and we had too many people covering too much ground. So what we've done is we've elevated maintenance. So we have a property management stack that handles things like rent rolls, issues that you guys are having, taking your calls. And we have maintenance that's on the ground making repairs. And they've both been elevated and are better supported. So hopefully you'll feel the relief on that soon. And one of the things I'm very excited about is that we've hired a new deputy executive director for operations to work with our personnel department, to work with maintenance, to work with property management, to provide a level of leadership and oversight that I really think is going to make a difference to you all on the ground. And it's his first day at LMHA. So day one, welcome. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Keith Gregory to LMHA. Do you want to come say hi?
I put on my good suit. I look good back there, camera people? Looking all right? Cool. Y'all will find that's my personality. I apologize. I'm excited to be here. I'm not going to talk long. This is not my show. This is Boss Lady's show, so I'm going to let her run this. I just want to say, so I'm sort of from Louisville. So my mother grew up in Southwick when it was still Southwick before it became Park Duval. My mother grew up there. So this isn't just work for me. This is the same resource that provided for my family. And I want to do everything that I can to make sure that every one of you lives in a place that I would be proud to put my mother in right now. That's what this is about. So I get it. It's a lot. You know, there's no short way to say that. There's a lot we got to do, but we're going to get it done and we're going to have some fun doing it. Y'all going to see me around. I'm going to be able, anytime. Who laughed? What? I know somebody just laughed. Like, what was that? No, but seriously, I will be available to everybody. I will be here. Y'all can find me pretty easily. I'll make sure that, and I want to know what y'all are going through. So when I'm seeing a lot of y'all saying no to some things that y'all want and should have, and we're going to make sure that y'all get them. But again, my name is Keith Gregory. I'm just so excited to be here. And thank y'all for, making my first day good.
Thank you. And welcome, Keith. I am so excited to have him. Another thing that we're working on is starting May 1st, we will begin a partnership with the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods to bring more services on site at Dosker Manor. So right now we have some social workers who work for LMHA who are available. It's clear that that you all need a lot more support. We have heard that loud and clear from you. So starting May 1st, we're going to have more case management available at Dosker Manor and Avenue Plaza. And for some folks, that might just look like, hey, can you help me with some paperwork? For some folks, it might be, I'm having a hard time keeping up with my apartment. Can you find somebody to come in and help me? There's a variety of things that we all need in our lives. I'm a firm believer that everybody needs services. Like, y'all, I moved home from New York City because I needed help from my family. Like, we all need things. And we have not done a good enough job keeping up. Ms. Angeletta was talking about the changing populations in LMHA buildings. This used to be a senior building. It's no longer just a senior building. And as things change, we have to make sure that people have the supports they need to remain stably housed. So more to come on that. We're really excited. May 1st, counting down. The real reason that we're here today is to kick off what we're calling a comprehensive planning process which means some things to some people. It sounds like jargon to others. But I want to tell you that what we're committed to today is to working with you, to communicating with you, and to listening to you. So you're going to know what we're thinking, what we're planning, the obstacles that we're facing, what we're looking at, what we think we need here at Dosker Manor. And we're going to listen to you when you tell us the same thing. Because I can come up here and say, we've hired this many people, we have this insecurity, and it's your all's job, as you've done, to come in and say, we're not feeling the difference on the ground. Like what you're putting on paper, what you're telling me isn't making a difference in my life. So that's what this planning process is. It's a feedback loop for us to keep you updated, for you to tell us what you need, and for us to put one foot in front of the other to plan long-term for what's going to happen at Dosker Manor. And we are very happy to be partnering with the University of Louisville Communications Department to help us do that, because we can't do it alone at LMHA. We need somebody else to help us facilitate meetings, to help do comprehensive needs assessments, to kind of help us with that feedback. So we're really excited about that partnership. And so I'll just kind of tick through what our upcoming events are, what this planning process is going to look like for residents here at Dosker Manor. And then we'll open it up for questions. And we'll take some questions from the media, who's kind enough to be here, because we're also committed to improve transparency at LMHA. And we'll also hear questions from residents. And at some point, the mayor might need to leave, but we'll stay as LMHA staff to keep talking with y'all. So upcoming events, we're going to repeat the information in this meeting that I just went through again sometime in April, because there are a lot of people who couldn't come today. And it's also just a lot of information. So if you're here and you want to come back the next time, hear it again, let's do it. And for people who can't make it, we're going to do this again in April. I'll be back April 12th for office hours. So April 12th, 9 to 11 is the time we do, Dan? Is that right? Okay. So I will be here. The Dare to Care drop-off and the commodity distribution is happening that day. And I'll be here if you want to talk. Keith will be here. Property management, maintenance, folks will be on the ground if you want to come up and put in a work order right then. If you want to give feedback overall, we're here. I'm really excited that we're going to have a Dosker Derby Health Fair on April 25th. So we from 1 to 4 right here in this community space. You'll be able to come get tested for things like your blood pressure, A1C, hypertension, HIV/AIDS testing and medical counseling, vaccinations. If you need your shingles and your pneumonia vaccine, we can get you taken care of there. So that's April 25th. May 1st, as we talked about, is the start of the Ocean. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. It's the start of the Ocean Case Management Services kickoff. This spring, so the weather's getting a little bit warmer. When it gets warmer still, we're going to kick off focus groups. So we're going to meet with this is a way, I promise we will also do a large town hall, and we'll have community members there, and we'll have opportunities for everybody to do things like this and to set in a big room. But it's also been successful in the past at other sites to have focus groups where people get together in smaller groups to kind of dig a little bit deeper. So we're going to break those out with the resident council members and floor monitors. We'll have one for seniors, or maybe several for seniors. And then we'll have some for residents ages 54 and under, so we can kind of do a little smaller group conversation. We will do needs assessments and surveys. You all are going to get information and give us information in several different ways. So we'll do surveys where you guys can kind of let us know more anonymously what's going on and what you need. We'll have visioning sessions where we just say, if you had a magic wand, if you had unlimited funds, what would it look like? And then we'll also work on some specific design workshops. What do we want Dosker Manor to look like physically? So that's kind of what's coming. And I think we're doing Q&A now? Okay. All right.
Well, we'll take a question from the media first, and then we'll take a question from the resident at Dosker.
And you'll take questions too? Okay.
So, Isaiah, go ahead.
Exactly what is going to happen as it relates to these 3 buildings here, but how seriously is the city considering potentially starting new buildings?
That's a good question. So for people who didn't hear it, the question is, there's lots of different possibilities. How seriously is LMHA considering tearing these buildings down? I will say it's a serious conversation. It's a serious consideration. We know that the issues in these buildings are vast. The systems are very old. This is a very dense site, and it was built in 1968 when Louisville looked very different. My understanding, full disclosure, I was not alive in 1968, but the interstate wasn't as wide as it is now. Things were just very different in 1968. So part of the process we have to engage on is, what are our priorities? What's the best future of Dosker Manor? And then how do these buildings fit into that or not? I want to let people know we can't just decide to knock something down today. It's a process that we have to go through with the residents. It's a long-term planning process. We can't take too long. In previous redevelopments with LMHA, it's been an extremely long time frame. We don't have that kind of time right now. The buildings are in terrible shape right now. So we have to move faster than we have in the past, but it really starts with resident engagement. Another big factor that's not in the room today, but is always here with us at LMHA, is the Department of Housing and Urban Development. They have rules for how things have to go, the processes we have to follow, and which programs we have to access. Once we kind of match up what residents need and what residents want, what HUD will allow us to do, we also have to secure financing. So that is a very serious undertaking that Keith has done many times. I have done many times in different jobs. So that's what we have to work on in the long term. So it's not as simple as like, what are you going to do? Tell me what it's going to look like. It's a process that we will go through, and the residents will be supported every step of the way. We will be informing them what's happening, and should it come to some kind of transfer or something like that, we will have entire meetings about that. People will be supported financially, and we will support them with staff power to make sure they have mobility counseling and the tools they need to make the best choices. Yes.
The thing that we, like Angela brought up, the thing with the homeless people. A lot of times I come in at 6:30 in the morning, or I get home like around 6:30. And when I'm going to my apartment in this building, you got them in the stairwell shooting up dope where the elevators are, using the bathroom. And when you go and you call the R1, it's like, we're not supposed to chase them down, but they're not supposed to be in here. And you tell them this, and it's like they overlook what we're asking them. I almost got robbed the other day just walking from the elevator to my apartment, and I told the dude, look, you don't want to do that. Because even though I didn't have anything on me, I shouldn't have to look over my shoulders and see who's coming behind me when they shouldn't be in the building.
Yeah.
So if I would have got robbed just walking from the elevator to my apartment, who's going to see it? Everybody's asleep at that time, like, except for the drug heads up there shooting up and smoking.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And I heard several things in what you brought up. So one thing is safety and security, like making sure people who are not supposed to be on the grounds, who are not supposed to be in the buildings, are not able to access it. That is something that we absolutely have to work on. You guys have to be able to come in and out of your homes, to get in and out of the laundry facility, to get down to these lovely vending machines. You guys have to be able to move about your home safely and securely. Another issue I heard you talk about, another thing that I heard you say is about the homeless situation in the city of Louisville. That is bigger than LMHA. It's bigger than all of us, but it's something that the city is working on and we all have to work together on. So something that I always think about is, how does LMHA kind of fit into the broader housing landscape in the city of Louisville? We need a lot more of all different kinds of housing to make sure that people don't have to live on the street. We need more supportive housing. We need more housing that's affordable to working families. We need more housing for seniors. We need all of it. It's not that is a bigger problem than Dosker Manor for sure. Anything you want to add to that? That's good.
No,
Okay, cool.
Can you talk about something with people coming and going and how we're going to change that?
Yeah. So the mayor wants to talk a little bit more about the safety and security that we have here. Yeah. I heard, yes, ma'am. So sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Get rid of those security.
We've heard that. Mhm. Yeah. So let me talk about, I know. I heard that. And I'd like to talk to you after this meeting, if that's okay. Yes, I heard you were a very nice lady. So I'd like to talk to you after this a little bit more, if that's okay. I know. And I am so sorry that happened to you. I've been thinking about you a lot. So what we have HALO officers, which is Housing Authority Liaison Officers, who are here at Dosker Manor and Avenue Plaza. Ma'am, do you want to hang out? I'll come find you later. Yeah, she's just sitting in her apartment and gets shot in the hand. That's absolutely unacceptable. So we have HALO officers, we have private security, and I've heard a lot of feedback about the private security group that we're working with. So, I'd love to talk to you guys more about how we do that better. And part of it is too, making sure that our property management staff have the tools they need to hold people accountable so that when there are issues with quality of life violations with residents, we're able to address it. Yeah.
What I'm proposing is kind of radical, maybe. Doing all this screening and trying to upgrade Dosker Manor, and maybe it would be rather expensive to do. Why don't you move people out in phases to better housing and turn this into Louisville's homeless shelter and get Wayside to move it here? And then, I know that they're building more properties at Beecher. Housing has to be prioritized, and it hasn't been for the longest time in Louisville. And there's not enough people, the homeless have to need to be somewhere. Maybe they should just come in here, make one tower for men, one tower for women, and another for families. And then in phases, move the people out to better housing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that idea. This is exactly the kind of engagement that we'll be having. Thank you. Yeah.
A lot of people here to see what you guys can do for them. The world's not perfect. I don't care if you come up with the most genius plan, it won't be perfect. We got a whole city out here. I don't care where you go. Things can happen. It's not a perfect utopia. We're not going to invent that. So really, I'm going to say what JFK said to us. It's not what they can do for us. What can we actually, as a community, do for ourselves? Right. What can we come up with that we can keep ourselves more secure instead of continually putting the onus of someone else? Because we're always going to get the mercy of someone else doing their own job. But if we come up with a way that we can look out for ourselves, I was thinking, I watch so many older people who don't have children around or grandchildren. Yeah. They come in with so many groceries and things, and they're in a situation now, and there's nobody there to help them. You know what? I bet you that if we had in each building 2 escorts that would be there, and that's all they're there for, is to escort elderly people, to escort them to, back to work, and also in doing so, they'll be able to spot maybe who is not in the building and didn't give a call. So they will be monitoring the building and keeping the elderly secure at the same time.
I like that idea. I'm writing it down. And, what we should talk about going forward is what do you need from LMHA to support you in doing that? Like how do we work together on that? That's a great idea. Thank you. Yes.
We here at, where we live at A building, we've had people come in and spray our apartments and stuff like that. They always see they give us sticky pads for the mice and for the bugs. But over in C building, I have a friend, elderly friend that I go over and check on. She has roaches, no kidding, this big in her apartment. She has mice over there this big that's eating into her walls and into her apartment. And she don't have the ability to be able to walk and do things and stuff like that. So I help her. So I think we need to get some more pest control in here, something better for us, for the roaches and for the big roaches, for the mice here.
Absolutely. I totally.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to insult people specifically, but I want to talk about the pest control. That's real.
Yes.
I've lived in places that have roaches and have rats, and it is extremely difficult to go about your life. I completely understand that. So it's very stressful. Yeah. So what we have to work on is there are things that kind of bring pests at the building level that we have to work on, and we have to make sure that residents have the tools in their own apartments. Sometimes people hear, oh, you have roaches, and they think, oh, just clean it better. It's a whole building issue. It's something that we certainly have to work on.
They moved right back, then when she sprayed it, come right back over.
I was somewhere and they said, I think they're getting smarter. I think they're, so it's,
They are up in here, they don't believe it. They've been around for dollars.
One of the things that there has not been nearly enough coordination between LMHA and the mayor's administration and Metro Council in years past. And one of the things that we're trying to do is to improve on that. So some of the questions about security. On Elizabeth's first day on the job, she met with our chief of police to talk about how LMPD could play a greater role in helping to keep you all safe. I understand there's still concerns. We're working on that, as Elizabeth said. One of the other areas is that LMHA has certain limitations on their budget, given the great need that is there. And so she put forth the idea that can she come to us in our proposed budget. Councilman Arthurs, who's here with us today, doesn't even know this yet, but one of the things that you will see in our proposed budget is that we are going to propose some one-time funding for LMHA to address some of the challenges. And the issue that you're talking about with respect to pests and some, as Elizabeth was talking about, the big building issues where we can address that, not with respect to an individual unit, but to help improve the building as it relates to pest control. We want to be supportive of that from our administration's perspective. And so we're going to propose to the Metro Council that the city help fund some of that in this interim period. Again, these are solutions that we need to address as we work on the larger solution. On the security issue that many of you all were asking about, as I understand the issue with the solutions that we've been looking at, one of the big things is access, people coming and going, to make sure that people don't have free will to just come and go as they please, to keep you all safe. And another issue is people who are living in units that maybe aren't supposed to be living in those units. And so we are looking at both of those issues. And so Elizabeth and the team at LMHA are going to be addressing that as the people who are living here that might not be on the lease, who might not be living. And then the other thing with respect to just going backwards in the questions with respect to the future of Dosker Manor, I support everything that Elizabeth said. I just want to add that I believe part of the solution will have to be new construction. We need to add more units of affordable housing across this city. The city also, LMHA also owns the old First Link property right across the street. So it's not just this piece of property that we have to work with. There's also another piece of property across the street. We're looking at everything to help address that solution and come up with a long-term strategy soon. As she said, we don't have time to waste. Why don't we go to the media, then back to the residents, if the media has another question.
Yes, sir.
All right, back to you then, man. Back to residents. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes, hey, I've been here since 2013. Okay, hey, when I moved here in 2013, my pocket was not clean at all. The only thing was out of my pocket was the function of I do. Okay, hey, I got stuff all over my pocket. Ain't never been paid. Ain't never been nothing did to my pocket. So I got stuff everywhere, all over my pocket, everywhere.
So thank you
Ain't
for
never been paid.
Thank you for telling me that. One of the things that I'm so happy about today is that we have a lot of people in the room. So we have Greg Crum, who's our head of maintenance, Lucretia Sistrunk, not to call you as out, the head of property management. So if you wouldn't mind getting with Greg and talking to him about your apartment, that's Greg right there. So if you guys can connect, and we have several members of the maintenance team here on site. So if you have specific issues in your apartment or that you want to let us know about in the common areas, we can do that today too, for sure. I want to take a minute to acknowledge, I want to make sure that people appreciate how significant it is that the mayor is here with us today. So thank you so much. And I want to acknowledge Councilmember Arthur for being here today. Thank you for being here. The Louisville Metro Housing Authority is not technically a part of Louisville Metro government. And that's true of all public housing authorities. It's an authority structure. It's very interesting. It's like everybody's in charge, so nobody's in charge. And it's not necessarily common and Keith, you've worked many other places, so tell me if you agree with this. It's not always common to have the city government and the housing authority working very closely together. It's often the city's like keeping it at arm's length, best of luck to you. That's not what's happening in the city of Louisville. You have a mayor, you have a city council that is committed to making things better. So again, going back to like, I have to earn your trust, LMHA has to earn your trust. I hope one of the things that makes you feel better is that the city of Louisville also has your back. And that's the point of the mayor being here today. Thank you. The first link, yeah.
Oh, I saw it on the way. I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on my way here just a minute ago, I actually said that to my colleagues from our office who were in the car with me as we were driving over. That's unacceptable, and I've already made a note to myself when I get back to the office, I'll be talking. We need to help find a new path for the folks that are there right now.
That's what they're saying. They come in on the east side, premises, they come in with the security door. And they come up and this lady don't go back, and the lady that got shot don't go back.
Just to be clear, no one deserves that. And also those individuals probably could use a little bit of assistance as well. And we have other support services that we can provide to individuals who are homeless. And but no one here, no one anywhere deserves that kind of treatment. Well, thank you for providing that feedback. Yes, ma'am. Hold on. Wait, we're going to ask people that haven't had a question first, and I can stay for a couple more, and then we'll keep going. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Rosalind Smith.
Nice to meet
I
you.
live in a big building. I've been here almost 8 years. I will piggyback on a little bit about Miss Angela. I've seen a lot, I've been around a lot, and for my main concern, I want safety. I want better restrooms. I want better laundry facility. I want better, these, security guards y'all got. Ain't nothing.
There you go,
Ain't nothing.
there you go.
I can do that. If you go to them, I have big concern. Big concern. Because I don't think none of us should live the way that we live. So if y'all can handle, I'm gonna bear with y'all and help you any way that I can. Any way that I can, don't care what nobody says. Because I want better. I done came from better. But I need the main thing for these security guards out here. I don't know what you do with them, but get them out here.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, thank you for that feedback. I'm here today. Everyone is here today because you don't have to apologize. This is your life. We get it. This is important, not just for you, for every resident of Dosker Manor, for everyone in Louisville. You deserve better. Thank you for your feedback, and we will follow up on that. We hear you loud and clear. We're all here because we want to hear what your concerns are so we can address them. Yes, sir, right behind you in the red.
This is just a suggestion. It goes back to safety. The whole world got cameras everywhere. Can't nobody get away with nothing. You need to put them in the hallway. That stops a lot. That stops a lot. All this building stuff up, start with the inside, not the outside. Because when you start at the inside, it makes us feel safe.
That's right.
It makes us feel safe. It makes us feel safe to the point we ain't gotta have nobody knocking at our door like, who are you? Right. It's the cameras, can't nobody get past the cameras. That's all I want to say on safety.
Great suggestion. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
People who ain't supposed to be here in this building, as far as living here and paying rent, there's people here that ain't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
They should go from door to door and make a sweep. You don't live here, get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what I alluded to earlier. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is definitely something that we have heard a lot of feedback on, not just from residents. I've heard it from the police. They're like, who is supposed to be here, who is not. Oftentimes the vast majority of people in Dosker Manor are good people. You're just trying to live your lives. And we know that there are people who are not on the lease. And sometimes, you're staying with your grandma until you get it together. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are in here, who are causing trouble, who are damaging property, who are throwing garbage off of the terrace, who are stealing the new fire extinguishers that we just put in, who are doing things to hurt. Yeah.
I've got time. This is going to continue. I'm going to answer one more question from this woman here with her son. And then, grandson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing what you earlier talking about with the state. I live in a corner apartment. Since I've lived here, I have had to scare out light off me and everything in my corner, trying to break in my apartment. And then the worst thing ever was they had the shooting over here in front of the 8 building before they put the rails and stuff up. I was pulling up from church in my car. I had to lay on the floor, seat floor of my car. He ain't coming in. It's like nobody was there. I couldn't get out of the car until the police came. And literally, these people are running past super big guns and everything, running past my car and everything. And the police looks up and they're gone. Ain't nobody gonna talk. We can say we won't say, but ain't nobody gonna talk. But it ain't fair that knowing that all this is going on, along with that, we gotta worry about where we park as women here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if we park in the front in management's parking, our car is good as told. Well, baby, we're in a place where we can barely afford to live. How can we keep on having to pay, you know what I'm saying, to get our cars out of tow and keep insurance on it?
Yeah.
If y'all torn our stuff away, love to even try to get away from this stuff going on. We gotta do something different. So like I said, I don't own no gun, but I got some bags. Right? For real, I'm just serious. It's real.
No, I know. Thank you. That's very helpful feedback to the LMHA team. I'm going to step out. The meeting's going to continue, but guys, I just want you to know we'll be back. Sure.
Now, in 2018, May 2018, Andy Bashir was right here, and all the Metro Council was right here at the same spot. Andy Bashir, I gave him that, I asked him, you need to invest